So what is the right posture of a zazen? And what the point of looking at the white wall? So when I did it, it
Oh, the
looked
wall.
crazy. Like,
I
look
know.
at the wall.
Yeah, the wall facing the wall. So you want to know where that came from? You know,
Yes.
so okay, so it came from Bodhidharma, and Bodhidharma was a teacher who came from India, and I imagine I don't know what century. I used to know this. It's just these things. I don't teach
That,
this so much
that
anymore.
doesn't
But
matter.
he came from India to China, and he was like, "I'm here to teach," you know, and the people were like, you know, of the land, where they weren't interested really, you know. And at that time, in you know, in early Buddhism, there were a lot of people with a lot of ideas about Buddhist teachings and going around teaching, and you know, they probably had a lot of scholars in China when he went and already, so they didn't need him. And so um they he you know, he wanted to I think meet, yeah, he wanted to meet the emperor, because when you come and you're a teacher, you're definitely, it's formal and expected to meet who's ever governing the land, because the governing of the land and how the people are, and what the people are doing spiritually and religiously go together, you know. So he wanted to meet the emperor, because let him know he was there, and the emperor wasn't interested in meeting him, and so, and the people weren't interested in what he was teaching at all. And so he just went and he sat and looked at the face the wall for years, for many years, and then came out of that, and was teaching the people. And then the emperor wanted to know, well, who's this guy? You know, who are you learning this? And they said, we're learning this from this guy, Bodhidharma. And then the emperor wanted to meet him, but by the time that happened, Bodhidharma had returned he had left and returned. There's a whole story about how, you know, the emperor misses the teaching and Bodhidharma, you know. And but anyway, Bodhidharma is the one that brought the facing the wall when you sit, and it's so you're seeing nothing, and you're not distracted. You know, it kind of reduces distraction, of course. It also can put you to sleep if you if you're not you know, used to that, you know, just, you know, so you're not really looking at the wall, you're at the wall, but your gaze is down. So it's, you know, he went in that way, you know, it's a way of going inward. And but the whole idea of the wall, he brought the wall sitting, and it's difficult for some people. I loved it from the beginning. uh, you know, it felt like when I sat there, I immediately went into a cave of my own, sitting on my own zafu and zabuton, and in my own space. And even though there's all these people sitting right next to you, um, you don't feel the people as bodies as much as you feel the energy. So with that, you learn energy too. So after a while, I was able to distinguish who was walking by the sound of their walk, their feet. You know, that's how your senses are heightened by that. Whereas, you know, if I were probably facing outward, I could probably take a peek and see. But you know, you're facing the wall, so everything. So you're developing this deep, I would call it intuition, which is part of any shamanic path. You know, you're developing this intuition where you don't have to see with your eyes, but you feel energy, and you know, and you trust that knowing on top of it, that this is what's happening. So you're not making up in your mind what's happening. What's happening is what you're sensing. And so I think facing the wall for me intensified that, the intuition that it was already being intense by chanting a lot in the Nichiren tradition, but it got further, you know, in sitting, facing the wall. And so even when you're sitting out, you still have that sense of facing the wall still, you know, and when you're, you know, because so you're really, I like that saying, groping in the dark always, because life is in the darkness, you know, so you're not deciding this is what's happening. You may do it because that's a habit, and then you see how that might get you in trouble, you know, because you've decided, you know, well, that looks like a bowl to me, and they told me to come get the teacup, but those are bowls, so I'm not going to get those. And it turns out those are the tea bowls. Those are the teacups. They're just big, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, how do you get in the way, you know? And so the wall helps you kind of just be in the darkness of life, in the mystery, in the discovery. Everything is about the discovery. And that is what is so important about Zen practice. Not knowing, not knowing, not knowing.